Thanks.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another Mega Drive Quickie. Sorry, Deji, but you're 1 to 4 here, so we're gonna call it the Mega Drive. Sorry.
Yeah. Welcome to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters for the SEGA Mega Drive.
This game is basically a Street Fighter style fighter. That's basically it, and it's a pretty
That's being
good.
generous.
It would be a pretty good one if it wasn't for a Paul on that I'll mention later. Splinter meditates peacefully. My sons, you are not my sons. Who are you? Why do you look so purple? Ah!
Ow.
Meanwhile, in the sewers of Manhattan. Huh? Greetings, Turtles! Your Master Splinter is ours now! What? Why, you? Your only chance to save him is to face me in Dimension X. I love their reaction. Why, you, Krang?
Again, this is like the second time this week.
Along with some friends of mine, evil turtle clones. We're gonna need some help on this one. You can count on us, even though we don't know who the hell the two of us are. We're with you all the way.
No, that's one of them is Slash.
Hold on, we're on our way to Dimension X.
Okay, one of us.
Also, Tio, it's funny that you say the whole that happens twice a week, because if you watch Turtles Forever, the crossover between the 2003 show and 80s show, they say that they always have to save April all the time.
I love
We have to save April.
I love how the voice says the number of level difficulty that I'm picking.
You make it to a fast
In
count.
that glorious muffled SEGA Genesis / Mega Drive.
So if I understood
It's very nostalgic.
so if I understood that intro correctly, basically Krang decided to take a page from the Clone Saga and just clone everybody.
Because potatoes.
And how exactly did he even manage to do that? You need DNA to do that, you know?
Well, I gather maybe something with their previous encounter, like Dr. Gero from
Let's
Dragon
start
Ball
in...
Z.
So apparently Dimension X in this game is just a space with a bunch of planets. I don't remember that from the 80s cartoon, which this game is supposedly based on.
Of April's fighting style.
So here's the first problem with this game, everybody. Keep in mind, I'm playing the game on the easiest difficulty, and even then, the game is already pretty. There you go. See,
I have a quick question.
go ahead.
Did Ivan Ooze help Krang create these clones?
Wrong for no. I don't think we were. Did that crossover didn't even happen yet by this point?
No, because they look purple and mutagen ooze.
I guess. All right, let's try that again. This time with Casey Jones. I don't know who the other two
I
are.
love playing as Vega.
But, okay, so I'm going to take a wild assumption and say that Sissy Fuzz, stupid name, and Ray Fillet are from the comics.
Wait, did you just say Ray Fillet?
Well, that's how his name is written.
I thought you were trying to say Raphael. I'm like, what?
No. Yeah, as you can see, even though I'm on the easiest setting, this game is still not quite unforgiving. And trust me, this isn't even the worst of it, as you're about to see. Believe it or not, everybody, I'm going to start using Game Genie cheats after this, and I'm still yet gonna lose a couple times despite using cheats. That's how fucking balls to the wall hard this game is. So in order for me to actually get anywhere in this game, let's activate some Game Genie codes. Alright, what do we have here? Player 2 starts with almost no health. Sure, this one works. Alright.
If they're not from the comics, they probably originated from the toy line.
Probably. Alright, let's try this again. Yes, we're gonna go with level 1 first, because this game actually has multiple levels, depending on the difficulty that you're playing, and the only way to see the real ending is by playing in the hardest difficulty. Basically, Shiroi, back in the day, Konami had this thing where they will only allow you to see the real ending of the game if you played on the hardest difficulty.
Which is
okay. Here's the explanation from the Wikipedia page. Ray Fillet is a character from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures comics, and Sisyphus is an original character named Masha Beetle in the Japanese version.
Oh, so it's a character made specifically for this game.
Apparently.
Huh. Also, yeah.
But only the beetle.
Also, you can use instant replay at the end of each battle, so that's kind of cool. I have to wonder. This is not. Oh, and by the way, turns out, apparently, even though it was never explained in the intro, apparently Krang also made clones of our friends: April, Casey, Ray, and Sissy.
Yeah, it's whatever. It's standard fighting game stuff.
I know that, but when exactly did Krang find the time to do all of this shit?
It's TMNT. Where the hell did he find the time to make clones of the Turtles and somehow sneak into their office and catch Splinter off guard?
True. Also, gotta love how the purple turtles. You might have noticed earlier how when the clone turtles win, they say "Cowabunga," as in like a different.
I like how it just says "Clone Mike."
Yeah, Clone Mike.
Clone Mikey.
Yeah. However, when they do die and they say "Shell Shock," it's the exact same voice clip from the normal turtles. So I guess they couldn't afford to have the voice actor for the clones to record all the lines, I guess.
Yeah, it's almost as if it's a licensed game in order to capitalize on the popularity of the TV show and rushed it out.
Also, from what I'm checking here, the Super Nintendo version, which apparently they just played, is a bit different because
it's completely different.
Yeah,
it's a bit of a different story, but the characters are almost completely different. Aside from the Turtles, where the other 6 are completely different. They're like War, Asuka, Wingnut, Armageddon, and Schroeder, apparently.
So, yeah. Thank you, Dan.
This
was a thing that Konami had back in the day. For some reason, they will always make different versions for each console. I don't understand why.
I understand. It's because they want to make each one feel unique.
I guess.
I know they also to sell more copies.
I get the mentality. It's like, oh, what if they already own both Sega Genesis and the Super Nintendo?
Similar to some recent Sonic games, I guess.
Sure.
Well, that's because it's a compromise for the handheld. But
okay.
But this
I've also checked, and apparently the Konami code only works for the Super Nintendo version as a very pitiful effect. Like you
Why
can select
is the Super Nintendo version?
No idea. Apparently,
because Nintendo does what Genesis isn't. I don't know.
Anyway, now back to the Magma Ocean planet.
They should have called the Genesis the Sega Revelations.
Oh god.
Deji, you're the expert. When exactly was Dimension X just space with a shit ton of random planets?
Which some of them are really disturbing, like this one.
Well, to be fair, they are traveling towards another dimension. So who's to say like there's not a vast majority of worlds in that dimension?
I guess, sure. It's just because
replays.
I'm just saying it because this is clearly based on the 80s cartoon. Krang clearly is based on the 80s cartoon, and yet this Dimension X doesn't look anything like the Dimension X we briefly saw in the cartoon.
I've only seen like a few episodes of the 80s cartoon.
Doesn't like Dimension X changes constantly?
Dimension X
in the 80s cartoon, it's just in the 80s cartoon, it's just a big wasteland too, basically. Anyway, the Turtles race to save Master Splinter. We already defeated all the clones, so back this. If you want, oh, go ahead.
If you want, fuck. You gotta go through me first.
For some reason.
I mean...
Hang on, Master Splinter. We're almost there. So yeah, now we have to fight Triceraton for some reason.
Again, it's like if in a Mortal Kombat game you would fight a generic Tarkatan instead of Baraka.
Also, that Brontosaurus is having a blast.
He's really on something, and he's laying his eggs... That's nice. He's laying his eggs right in the open.
Yeah, you see, even with cheats, I cannot defeat this guy.
Also, Triceratons are a race, so...
Yeah, that's exactly what they said. It's like in Mortal Kombat, Tarkatan are a race, but Baraka is the one that distinguishes from them. Instead of, having like a character represents him, you have a generic race book.
Even with Game Genie, I have trouble beating this guy, even though I'm on the easiest difficulty.
It would also be like in a Marvel vs. Capcom game, instead of Firebrand, we'll have a generic red arm.
Look at this. He has a scripted move that basically allows him to do a lot of hits at once.
Yeah.
And
it's clearly some cheating frame delay, not delay, but frame regeneration.
Yeah.
So, question: when you got up to this boss fight when you were younger, did you always quit?
Yes, because
Okay.
and keep in mind, like I said, you have to play in the hardest difficulty to see the real ending. So fuck this.
So, speaking of Konami games playing the hardest difficult to see the real ending, are you going to do that Spark Rocket Knight game?
Oh, I love Spark stuff for the Mega Drive. It's so awesome.
Doesn't that also have a different version?
Yes, the Mega Drive version is my favorite, actually. You are dead. Ha! It's time for you to die, turtle freaks. Hang on, Master Splinter. We're almost there.
We're almost there.
I get the feeling we should have. I
I
get the feeling we should have just went straight for Krang, because I don't understand why Triceratops is even in this game, because as Daddy told me, he has nothing to do with Krang, so I have no idea why the hell
My wild guess is the other planets project deflector shield.
A generator. I'm sure there's more story context in the main.
No, wait, Pedro, I think I've got some context.
And now
April
Karai!
has secret life draining
Out of
powers.
nowhere.
Most impressive, little turtles. But you'll have to find me to save your precious Master
Does it mean
Splinter.
fight me?
You mean you're behind this, not Krang? Plot twist. That sinks it. You're toast, Karai. Okay, for those who don't know, because she was not,
daughter.
since she was not on the '80s cartoon, Karai is actually Shredder's daughter. She was prominent.
Depends on the continuity.
Well,
Like she's not.
If I recall, she usually takes the charge of the Foot Clan when Shredder dies or goes absent.
yeah.
Yeah, but in the IDW comics, she's actually Shredder's granddaughter.
In the
And there you go. I beat her, and this is all I get.
In the recent
next
movies,
level.
in the recent movies, she's a really strange figure. She's just a lackey in the first film, and then she had amazing plastic surgery to look like a different person in the next one.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, she got ran over by cars.
Okay, so in the levels 1 through 3, we always get that ending of the copyright stuff and the challenge next level message. But we also get a second ending if we go from difficulty through 4 to 7. So before we see the real ending, let's see what this and might as well try to show off a bit more of these arenas and the fighting and stuff like that.
God, April's attack is so lame.
Yeah. Also, remind me again, Deji, since I know that she's more capable in the 2003 show and the 2007 movie, but I don't remember April ever doing anything fight-wise in the 80s cartoon.
Nope. She can only fight in every other incarnation except for that show.
I'm guessing this was the beginning of the attempt at make her a more strong female independent character. Or
Actually, from what you just told you, she was in every other occasion. It's just they control the Flanderizer.
I'm not sure about the Mirage comics. All I know about the Mirage comic is that she was a drawing that came to life.
Huh.
Yeah.
Clone Casey. And he sounds exactly.
April, I love you.
Jones has
You're not the real Casey. He would never say that.
Oh, I love this one. Casey just killed himself with his own bomb.
Congratulations.
Brilliant.
No. Actually, that is the real Casey. He would do something that stupid.
Poor bastard.
All right, like I was saying, we're actually gonna get a different ending in difficulties 4 through 7. So
Really?
what?
One hit.
Remember, they start with 1 HP.
Deji, you already knew this.
I know. I'm just like slide kick.
Trust me, Deji, that side kick is really good to use with this cheat because the CPU is usually really bad about avoiding that attack.
It's like what it's called, Sub-Zero's down kick in Mortal Kombat X. It was broken as fuck and we needed to patch it multiple times.
Not just that, too, but guess what? Even though it's not as bad as that game, this game's AI also kind of suffers from Mortal Kombat 2 syndrome.
Meaning
that see the problem with Mortal Kombat 2, and the reason I don't really think it's the best of the classic ones, like most people say, is because the AI in that game is fucking cheap as all hell. It basically reacts to everything you do. Literally everything.
The Super Nintendo version doesn't even have the fatality, so what's the even point?
I'm not even talking about that too. I'm talking about the original arcade versions, which you can.
Oh right.
But the console ports also had that. But I'm guessing you probably own the arcade collection on the PS3, like I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, I actually played it on the PSP. I think it was being the PlayStation 1 port, whatever. It's been a long time.
Well, the one I usually play is Trilogy, because Trilogy fortunately fixed that shit. Anyway,
But yeah, I get what you mean. Mortal Kombat 2 is really hard.
the Turtles race. Yeah, we already know this. Let's skip that.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, look at
I
this.
wish I was watching Kung Fury instead with Triceracop.
You see what I mean? Look at this.
Yeah, you're like family to me.
And keep in mind, everybody, Triceraton, Krang's android, and Karai cannot be played as, even with cheat codes, which would be
Kung
sad.
Fury is one of the.
Which is kind of irritating. I kind of wish I could play as these characters, because these characters look like they could be really fun to
Yeah.
play as. Basically,
Kung Fury is one of the greatest
They only serve to
American
make your time
80s
miserable,
spoofs.
it seems.
basically, yeah.
American 80s spoofs ever made, and it's made by a Swedish guy.
Once again, Teo, the CPU gets all the cool toys, and we get jack shit.
Of course, as per tradition. Thankfully, only recently they made sure that even the player could. Also, got a
Deji,
lot
how
of
did
Krang spams projectiles.
Yeah.
Deji,
Mhm.
how did Mad Max Turtle Road turn out?
As a standalone thing, it's fine. As a series finale, it's stupid. Really stupid.
Wait, they had a crossover with Mad Max?
No, it was a parody of Mad Max and Logan.
With oh, really?
All right, so there you go. Bye, Karai.
Alright, so who's next?
You see, if this was the actual TMNT, Karai would one-shot April, not the other
I
way around.
know. It's just that cheats, because this game is.
Let's see.
Ha! You've only succeeded in destroying my clone.
Fun, fun, fun.
I'm still waiting for your challenge, aka you have to play the hardest difficulty to beat
Why
the real
didn't you
me.
just set a bomb in the room, so, you know.
I'm waiting.
So yeah, now we get credits, the bad credits, because there's actually good credits, believe it or not.
So you actually need to play through a normal, say, difficulty to get the actual credits of the game.
Yeah.
Charming.
Yeah, actually, this just reminded me. You know, Shira, I should show you this film at some point.
Which one?
Any of them.
Yeah,
Oh, right.
I'm still quite a big fan of the first live action one. I still think that one is the best that's been made. The live action TMNT movies, honestly.
Out of the ones I've seen, well, I've only ever seen the two Bay produced ones. Out of the Shadows was okay.
Mm-hmm.
I never cared too much for the franchise, so the only movie I ever...
That shocks me, because it seems like something that you would like.
Depends. I mean, I understand where the appeal may be,
Jesus
but to
Christ.
me it just doesn't click too much.
Alright.
Christ, Clone April is even more savage than.
The movies I've seen are the 2007 animated one, the one with James Arnold Taylor.
That movie's so boring.
And
Look, as someone who I'm saying right now, I enjoy it, but it's not good. It's a guilty.
But hey, guys, that sounds like the perfect guy. We should give the Ratchet and Clank movie
See,
to it.
the big problem is that it's one of those things where you had to see the 2003 show to understand even a lick of what's going on.
Well, isn't it then kind of supposed to be like, not a series finale, but a continuation of that?
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah, it's its own thing.
Here's the
How
thing.
come the voice actors are different?
Not just that, but Teo, here's the thing. If it was meant to be, if the 2007 movie was supposed to be a series finale for the 2003 show, then it should have looked just like it. It should have been derived from it with the same art style, same animation, same voice actors, all that stuff. It marketed itself as a new movie. It was even made by different people anyway. So so that's kind of.
I want to see that movie.
That's weird.
I want to see that movie in theaters, but my aunt made me go and watch Meet the Robinsons, and I am forever grateful for that. Rest in peace, Nancy.
It's kind of the opposite of what happened to me. Oh, go ahead, Luisa.
I heard Meet the Robinsons was a very divisive film. You either like it or you don't.
I love Meet the Robinsons. It has Meet the Robinsons has problems. Don't get me wrong, but the positives far outweigh the negatives. If you ask me, that movie has so much heart. And I really love
I've seen it, but I don't remember it.
I love the moral. I love the characters. The only real problem that movie has is the middle act, because the middle act is a leftover from the original version that was being made before John Lasseter took that movie over, because that movie was originally going to be just as bad as Chicken Little, apparently, and unfortunately, because of the tight schedule, they didn't have time to completely restart from scratch, so they had to keep some of the old movie in, and sadly, that's what holds the movie back. It's a shame, because they still managed to salvage that movie, if you ask me, but I'll get into that when we get to...
Anyway, Deji, it's your episode at the theater, it's kind of the opposite of what happened to me. Back around when Incredibles came out, I wanted to go see it, but my parents actually wanted to see instead that boring fest that is Shall We Dance with Richard Gere, and instead brought me forcefully to that. It was probably one of the worst theater experience I've ever had, ever since I had the misfortune to see Epic Movie and Disaster Movie.
I'm so sorry.
I have no idea
April
what
sounds
that
like
movie is.
to go back to this though, April sounds like a porn star in this game. Oh yes.
The muffled SEGA Genesis Mega Drive sound beat doesn't...
There you go,
doesn't
guys.
help.
This time it was not a clone. I think I'm a clone now. Anyway, yeah, this time we defeated the real Karai. Can it be defeated by mere turtles?
Actually, we're defeated by April.
Master Splinter! Thank you, my sons.
Yeah, but April that gets no credit.
You are true warriors. Kawabanga!
So wait, there is no super secret final boss?
No. Well, remember, Teo, Karai is supposed to be the secret superpowered boss. Because trust me, Karai is really hard.
Well, actually, Karai can go toe-to-toe with the Turtles.
Yeah, Karai is actually really powerful. Yeah. Anyway, so that was TMNT Tournament Fighter. So, Deji, why don't you start?
I like this. I love this franchise. My
Sure.
God, this game looks boring. I haven't played this in years. I still own the copy, but my Super Nintendo isn't working. It broke.
Alright.
Before I give my final thought, I'll just say this thing real quick. Hey, Tio, do you know what movie the guy who directed Shall We Dance made
you
straight
can
after?
you can tell me later, Libs. Go ahead.
Don't worry, it'll be real quick. It's a Hannah Montana movie. Anyway, it's a game.
It's a
It's a
game.
fucking game, everyone.
Wait. Emma Dachi. I recognise that name.
Brilliant observation, Whips.
Yeah, I recognise that name. She's doing some of the music for the newer Pokemon games.
Well, there you go, Whips. She used to work at Konami, apparently.
And now she's Pokemon.
Hey, Yoko Shimomura did this music for Street Fighter 2.
Yeah,
she's doing
true.
Works.
She worked at Capcom at the time, so...
Yeah, works at Capcom, now works at Square Enix.
Actually, no.
She's a freelance.
She used to work at Square Enix, but eventually she just became a freelancer. Although, yes, Square Enix is still her best customer. Yeah. Anyway,
And Alpha Dream.
yeah, and Nintendo. Yeah. All right, Teo, what do you think?
It's a thing. I mean, it's not exactly my cup of tea. Even though I'm usually generally love fighting games, these ones seem, aside from the cheapness, a bit lacking in content. It reminds me of the first Star Gladiator for the PlayStation. So, not exactly my thing. If you're a TMNT fan, obviously you should get it, I guess. But for me, it just doesn't tell me that much.
Sure. What do you think of the game?
It's a side-scrolling classic fighting game, and that's all I have to say.
Yeah, this game doesn't have that much remarkable, aside from the kind of weirdly put together story.
Hey, the Power Rangers Mega Drive game was way better because it ended up with Repulsa being exploded to rings.
Nerd Power Rangers.
Well, to be fair, Teo, this game also ended with us apparently killing Karai, I guess, so...
I guess.
Anyway...
Alright, then.
Anyway,
So that's why she's not in the show.
Alright, so yeah, like I said, yeah, well actually that's a good point, considering this came out in 93 and Karai was not in the 80s cartoon, so this is technically them trying to subtly put her in it?
Maybe.
Anyway, yeah, it's a game, like my commentator said, and being a big fan of the 80s cartoon because I grew up with it, it's still kind of has a soft spot in my heart because of that. Because in the story, and I do get a kick out of the weird ass story because like that Triceraton detour, for example, is so what the fuck. And that's it. And I also kind of find it interesting. I want to see an episode based on this, goddammit. I want to see an episode of Krang literally making clones out of everybody and trying to...
Maybe you'll see it in the new TMNT series that Nick is going to make.
We'll see. All right, everybody. See you for the next TMNT and then we do. I guess next we can do Hyperstone Heist or maybe Turtles in Time or
Turtles in Time, please.
Or the original arcade game because that technically comes first. So see you then, everybody.
See ya.
Yeah.